TheJbeans.net.
Bermuda's South Shore is one of the island's most scenic areas, with turquoise water, rocky cliffs, and a continuous stretch of beaches that can be explored on foot. We visited the area during our June 2025 cruise aboard the Norwegian Getaway, and we spent a morning walking from Warwick Long Bay to Horseshoe Bay, stopping at each beach along the way. In this video, we'll take you beach by beach, showing you what each one is like and how they connect, so you'll know what to expect if you'd like to follow the same walk yourself. Just a quick note that if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. It really helps our channel. And consider subscribing so you get alerted when we add new videos. We started our day by using an early bus option to arrive at Bermuda's South Shore, well before most cruise passengers were even leaving their ships. If you're interested in learning more about the early bus option, we've linked to our video in the description below. Continuing past the stop for Horseshoe Bay Beach, we got off the number 7 bus at the Camp Road stop. While most passengers would probably choose to get off at Horseshoe Bay, we wanted to enjoy a walk along the shoreline starting at Warwick Long Bay. Stretching for about half a mile along the South Shore, Warwick Long Bay is one of Bermuda's longest beaches. It takes its name from Warwick Parish, which begins near the western edge of the beach. The parish was apparently named after Robert Rich, who was England's second Earl of Warwick in the 17th century. It's worth noting that while Bermuda is known for its pink sand beaches, the sand might not look very colorful at first glance. The effect can change depending on the sunlight, and it might look less distinct on cloudier days. However, if you look carefully, you should be able to spot the tiny pink flecks of crushed coral and shells that give Bermuda's beaches their famous color. Facing the water, we turned right to head west and followed the beach sand path through the trees. A short distance later, we were at Jobson's Cove, a small inlet that's sheltered by high rocks. The cove was named after William Jobson, a 17th century settler who once owned land in the area. Continuing west, we again followed the beach sand path through the trees to Elsbeth Beach. The strip of sand that forms the beach touches both Stonehole Bay on the east and Chaplin Bay on the west. A stretch of rocks divides the shoreline, so the area feels like two small beaches side by side. Leaving Elsbeth Beach, the path got a bit more complicated to follow, but we still managed to find our way to a parking lot near South Shore Park. A small building with public restrooms was available at the edge of the parking lot. We continued past the restrooms and walked along the grass. We then crossed part of the park, heading toward the water. At the edge of the park, we came to an overlook at the easternmost edge of Hidden Beach. True to its name, Hidden Beach was quite difficult to see and access. After sneaking a few peeks, we continued walking west to an opening that led to Angle Beach. Although Angle Beach was a bit small, it had fewer rocks in the water compared to some of the nearby coves, and it also provided access to Hidden Beach to the east. From Angle Beach, we continued along the sand path a bit further west to Water Rocks Beach, which, living up to its name, had quite a few rocks in the water. Despite the rocky coastline and its proximity to Horseshoe Bay, the beach still felt quiet and secluded. Continuing our walk west along the path, we came to Middle Beach. Unfortunately, the beach wasn't easily accessible from the path, so we continued walking toward Horseshoe Bay. As the path opened into the clearing for Horseshoe Bay Beach, we curved to the left and walked between the rocks to Butts Beach. The relatively small, secluded area of Butts Beach is located directly between Middle Beach, which is accessible to the east, and Horseshoe Bay. Despite the name, the beach was family-friendly during our visit, and the cove's rock formations helped keep the waters calmer than the open shoreline. Returning to Horseshoe Bay, it was easy to see why it's the most popular beach on Bermuda's South Shore. The long, clear, slightly curved coastline created a spectacular view. And the slope of the beach allowed visitors the option to easily walk in plenty of calm, ankle-deep water or wander into the deeper water to enjoy the surf. The early bus option allowed us to enjoy a leisurely walk along the South Shore and still arrive at Horseshoe Bay around 9 a.m. Despite typically being one of the busiest beaches in Bermuda, there were only a few dozen visitors when we arrived, with plenty of space and loungers available everywhere we looked. Walking along the bay's coastline, we made a quick stop at Horseshoe Bay Cove, which was located at the westernmost edge of the bay. The small cove was protected by numerous rocks, which made it a nice spot for families to enjoy the beach and the water. The western end of Horseshoe Bay is also the location of the beach's main entrance and parking lot. The area had several facilities available nearby, including a restaurant called Horseshoe Bay Live, restrooms and changing rooms with outdoor showers and foot washing stations located on the outside of the building, and a kiosk renting loungers and umbrellas for $20 each. The kiosk accepted cash, credit, debit, or Apple Pay, with U.S. and Bermudian currency having equal value. It's worth noting that Horseshoe Bay was the only beach that had loungers or umbrellas available for rent during our morning walk. Additionally, there were no lifeguards on duty at any of the beaches we visited. Wrapping up our Bermuda beach walk, we headed to the Horseshoe Bay parking lot and took a minibus back to the Royal Naval Dockyard for $7 per person. Typically, taxis are also available by meter, but none were waiting in the parking lot when we left. Because it was still relatively early in the morning, our minibus driver was willing to leave without being full, since he was already heading back to the dockyard. By starting our day early, we were able to explore all of Bermuda's South Shore beaches and still make it back to the dockyard by roughly 10 a.m. Even though we didn't spend any time swimming or lounging, we still enjoyed a quiet, scenic morning walk along some of Bermuda's most popular beaches, almost entirely on our own.